Hey, this is Phil Hunter or Phil H. Whatever. I don't, do we? No, John.
Our
Do we
names
use
are
our last
actually
name?
on the podcast, Bill
Okay,
H. Break it to you after
John K. Look
64
out!
or 5 episodes.
Oh
You
no,
never look at it, do you?
I'm never. No, I do. I'm just never going to get a job after this.
As it should be.
I mean, a different job. So we got a special panel today, and we don't know what to call this. It's a Mandalorian Fest or a Mandalorian Blowout or a Mandalorian. We need something. We need a name for this. Any ideas, Matt P?
Mando Blast.
Matt
That's like a
P.
new pop.
Matt P. and Paul S.
How
are
about
our guests
Boba
today.
Fest?
Yep. Welcome.
We've never had 4 people on, so this is going to be strange.
I think so. So before I get started, speaking of soda pop,
Oh,
Matt, I thought of you. I was driving home today and saw
Matt
a billboard for another new Coke Zero.
Is it the energy one or the?
It just looked like a regular. It had a different style can, but it sounds like they're launching it again for the
well,
third
no.
time now.
This is because Bill Cosby got out of jail, so they're going to have Bill Cosby come back on and sell the new Coke 0.2 2.0.
The Hut says that Bill Cosby is his kind of people. You're listening to episode 66, Mandalorian Fest. I don't know what kind of accent this is.
What is the difference between Coke Zero and Diet Coke?
Oh, you opened up
Oh.
a can of worms
is-
there.
This
I suppose
it, it does taste different.
Killing it. It's probably roofies.
Oh, Jesus.
It's Coke Plus. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. The best I understand is that it's just another
Aspartame?
variation on. It's the same kind of sweetener. I think it's just slightly different flavoring. It's supposed to mimic original Coke more than the Diet Coke does.
It's
And-
more genetically modified.
Well, yeah. Unlike those natural Cokes. The thing I read or heard on the internet.
Oh, you
Was
did your own
that-
research.
I wish I did. Was that supposedly Coke or Diet Coke, as we know it today, its flavor profile is. See, I'm putting those whiskey terms in there.
How is it on the nose?
Supposedly takes its flavor from what we used to call New Coke back in the what was that in the
Yeah,
late
so Bill
80s?
Cosby would be appropriate for this.
and so that's the flavor there. And classic Coke came out, and then Coke Zero is supposed to taste more like classic. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true it is.
It's a little spicier, I think.
I don't know.
Let's do
Diet
a
Coke
taste
has
test.
this weird aftertaste to me. That it's the one diet soda I just don't like.
No, my mom would only. She didn't like Coke Zero. She liked. Well,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't.
I know people that feel the opposite way for sure.
She swore by Diet Coke. That was what she did.
Yeah, I think they just become accustomed to the fake taste.
Yeah, I think the fake taste in all dark soda is bad. The only one I can stand is like Sprite Zero because
Okay,
it's not
yeah.
as pronounced.
Saved by Zero.
And I just have a fondness for Diet Mountain Dew, which is the most unnatural thing out there.
Yeah, I
It
can't- I
really
can't drink
is.
that one.
Although, funny enough, its third ingredient, I think, is orange juice,
Oh wow!
which is really strange.
What?
But yeah, it is. Look at one.
Well, what do you drink, Matt? You're a Coke Zero person.
I'm a Coke Zero guy.
Okay.
I also drink Diet Mountain Dew, but I don't like Mountain Dew Zero at all.
Yeah, it's different.
What? Okay. Strange.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's getting
I'm a Dr. Pepper
complicated.
guy.
Although it'll be interesting to see which version of no calorie Mountain Dew wins out, whether it's the Upstart Zero or whether Diet will actually, because I
Plucky
see
Upstart.
them both
And
all
in
over
this
the place.
corner,
Yeah, it's a fight.
ding, ding, ding.
So before we get into Star Wars things,
Oh my goodness!
Phil, what are you eating? No, drinking.
What am I eating?
What thought I heard some crunch.
That's not me. And it could be one of my teeth, but we won't talk about that today. Old Tub, bottled in bond. It's put out by the Jim's Beam folks. It's unfiltered for more robust flavor. Before Jim Beam Bourbon, the Beam family made Old Tub, an unfiltered bonded bourbon, and et cetera, et cetera. This is a tribute to that groundbreaking taste.
And it has orange juice in it.
No,
No.
I'm having Old Tub Zero.
That's right.
I should have tried to make a weird Star Wars cocktail for this, but whatever. Maybe somebody else will get me going.
There must be some.
So hopefully. So who's
right.
Paul? What are you drinking?
Well, I'm drinking a Gonna Be Trouble IPA, which is from a local brewery here called Lost Cabin.
Yeah.
It's a hazy IPA, and it's part of the Ales for ALS fundraiser, which is nationwide
Nice.
breweries, and they get together and they produce their own beer, and the proceeds go to ALS research.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's really good. You know what? I've not had it before. The brewery is a favorite of mine, and I get a lot of beer from there. But this is a new one. It's pretty hazy. It's got a lot of good hop flavor. It's just under 7%, so it's pretty strong for a beer. But yeah, it's very nice.
I have a neighbor friend. I'll just say friend at this point, but he has ALS, and so bless all the people that are.
Yeah, apparently it's
helping
like a
with that.
nationwide deal that this Ales for ALS. There's lots of participating breweries nationwide.
That's great.
Yeah.
Bless you all.
They
Buy
make good
ALS beer, ALS ale.
Hey, and they're gonna raise money and serve me up a tasty beer at the same time. We're gonna be very supportive of that.
So mine's unfiltered, and Paul S's ale is hazy.
Yeah.
There you go. We have something in common. I'm hazy. All right, Matt, what do you got? I always save John for last because he has this thing that nobody else can. It's like, holy crap, where did you get that? No.
I just got back from Milwaukee like an hour ago. And while we were in Milwaukee, we went to the Great Lakes Distillery. And while there, we tasted a bunch of different liquors. And their rum was quite good and had a good story. Pirate Dan's rum was quite good. So I'm having a Roaring Stormy, which is their drink, with Roaring Dan's rum and ginger beer and lime.
Very nice.
That sounds really, really good.
That does sound good. Yeah.
And John, I'm sorry we don't have time to talk about what you're drinking. So let's get on to the. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna outdo that. Actually, that's.
We should have
cool.
Matt go last. We'll edit it.
Sure, that always
do
works.
that.
We'll always do that. I am drinking a Japanese whiskey today
Oh,
called Kaiyo. I think that's how it's pronounced. Kaiyo, and it's a cask strength Scotch style whiskey. Don't know how old it is because it doesn't tell me, but it's really different. I'm not sure I've got a handle on it yet. It's
How
a
many
lighter.
have you
It's
had?
not it's not smoky or anything like that. It's very light, but it's also got a ton
Speyside.
of richness, and of course it's 53% alcohol, so it's very, very rich. So
This is
so far,
Speyside
very
of Japan.
nice. Well, most Japanese whiskeys are like that actually, but they don't
Get real smoky.
Not typically. Sometimes they'll like import peat from Scotland and smoke it there
Oh,
to
jeez.
give that flavor in, because I guess peat doesn't grow in Japan, or if it does, it doesn't come out the same way probably. But interesting whiskey. Stay tuned on that. I might have future episode. Maybe I'll be able to describe it a little better.
Or maybe later today. Fine.
Maybe.
Have about 3 more, and we'll check in with you later.
Yeah, and I've got for a change. I have a nice day, so I'm sitting outside. So excuse the noise.
Oh,
It's just too nice not to be
yeah,
out
the
here.
black helicopters.
Yeah, yeah. So to get into our little discussion, now that we've all seen the Mandalorian, um, I wonder if we should get into it from where we how we approach Star Wars in general, because I think that plays into our appreciation for the show
Oh,
beyond its just general goodness. But it's really, yeah, it kind for me, it plays into some nostalgic elements, things like that. So I'm kind of curious. Maybe we can each give an opening statement of sorts, for lack of a better term, about how obviously if we grew up with Star Wars, if we get into it beyond just that we go see the movies and all that kind of thing, and how we approach that. So um,
yeah.
I will toss it over to, let's say, Matt, if you want to toss something out there.
Matt
All
B
right.
is
So my
going to toss
elevator
something
speech
out.
about how I got into Star Wars.
And group sex.
1977 is when the movie came out, but I was thinking the other day, I can't remember when I actually first saw it. I would have been 6 in 1977. I do remember specifically when I went to Empire and Jedi, but I can't remember if I saw Star Wars in 77 or 78, because living in a small town in South Dakota, you got to go to movies when they got to you. So let's say I first saw it when it came out in its first running. So, and I've been into it ever since. Big toy collector back then. Less so now, but still fairly active, at least in the original trilogy. Don't hate the prequels, and don't hate um, the sequels as much as others. Loved The Mandalorian. Didn't really watch too much of the cartoons. Did watch the Clone Wars, just not all the way through. So parts of The Mandalorian I had to do some research on, find out what's going on. But it's been a good ride. The whole Star Wars thing's been a good ride.
Oh, cool. Thank you. So, Paul, where do you come at this?
Well, Star Wars, I think the original, A New Hope, was the first movie that my dad ever brought home and I watched on a VHS. So, and it was kind of love at first watch with that movie, and that progressed. I think that Empire would have been the first one that I saw in the theater at a young age, and then obviously Jedi. But after watching that on a video on a video cassette at home, I know that, like Matt, I got into the whole toy collecting thing. Not something that I've continued, and man, I wished I'd held on to some of that stuff I had, because I had a lot of it, and I don't know where it went over the years, but I could either have a nice collection or make some money out one or the other now. But over the years, I've just continued that love of Star Wars. I like Matt. I don't love the prequels, but I don't hate them either. I think there's some good things in the prequels uh, that that are there if you look for them. I liked the sequels. I didn't particularly like the last movie, but I really liked Force Awakens and the Last Jedi. I really like both of those movies. And as far as the cartoon stuff has gone, I haven't watched them, but I did just because of my fandom. Kind of kept up with the lore and the canon with it and the stories and what's going on with that. But I just didn't have the patience to watch all of Rebels and uh, you've got what you got Rebels and you got the Clone Wars and now the Bad Batch and there's a lot of cartoon content out there. I kept up, like I say, with the lore and the characters. Just out of a fan interest, but never watched all that stuff. Really like what Disney have done with some of these spin-off movies, with Rogue One, and I think Solo was unfairly criticized, and now you bring us up to the Mandalorian, where I mean, this is some of the best Star Wars content since the original trilogy, and I'm pretty excited to talk about it.
Ooh.
Oh, good one. Yeah. So, Phil, what do you think?
Well, let's see. I probably saw them all in the theater. I remember we had to wait a long time in line. The line would wrap around the block at the movie theater. maybe a couple times over. And I don't remember seeing the first one in the movie theater, so I could be wrong, but I'm sure I did at some point. Maybe not initially when it first came out. Um, I I guess my biggest memory was the end of Empire Strikes Back, and I probably talked about this before, but you know that was like, oh shit, what? I mean, I didn't say that maybe, but I had to wait. I knew because I knew I'd have to wait 7 or 8 years or something to find out what happened to Han Solo and all this other stuff. I mean, it, these kids today, I mean, you can watch every episode in one week or whatever, but or episode season. But we had the characters, so we'd act out what we thought would happen. The little toys. I think my brother Blake has most of the stuff, and I don't know even the toys I had, which isn't. I got to figure that one out. I got to extract some of them back from him, I suppose. But I also have a large collection of the bubblegum cards. So how about that? I don't know if those are worth anything. Maybe
Or
I
did you
could
just keep the bubble gum and not the card?
Oh, I had it all backwards. Oh, damn it. Well, okay. So, but I'm going to say that those three, when I was a child watching those, I mean, they were, I don't know, just so, I hate to use the word magical, but that's what they were. And all of the other prequels, sequels, etc., I've enjoyed. But nah, not quite as much. And I know that's part of it. Part of it is because I'm older, and it's not the same thing as watching something for the first time as a kid. This opening or introducing yourself to this whole new world. And Jar Jar Binks, so he was my favorite character of all times. But
It was a matter of time before Jar Jar crept
no,
in.
unfortunately they got into the accents to differentiate characters instead of the
No,
subtitles.
maybe they'll go back and redub him or something.
Well, me so sorry.
No,
But,
I think when Lucas sold the company to Disney, it was in the contract that Jar Jar cannot be altered.
oh, I, I'm kind of glad he sold it, frankly, but because I really enjoyed Mandalorian, but we'll get into that later. How about you, John?
Yeah, very similar things. I have very vivid memories of seeing A New Hope in its first run. Rob, my brother, and I we definitely saw it that first summer. I think it came out in May of that year. Does that sound right? Something like that. Because it sticks
The
out.
narrator will tell us.
Because
May 23rd or something like that.
okay, yep. So we saw it pretty close to when it came to the old Rapid Theater, Rapid City,
Well,
where all the big movies seem to come.
where
And
Nixon is now.
Yeah, now Nixon's on the corner there. It's across from Hardee's down there. So, great part of town. No. And
Rapid City has statues of the presidents. It's not actually like Nixon's corpse or something.
Nixon's actually my favorite statue because he's sitting there in this chair
Oh.
with this evil look on his face.
He's
it's great.
plotting to take over the stockyard.
Yeah, he's plotting. It's kind of like the emperor there. No, anyway, back to the show. But yes, we saw it there multiple times. We were blown away by it, and we of course had seen Star Trek, the original series, earlier, just by a number of years because we caught that on television. And as much as we loved and continue to love Star Trek, seeing Star Wars like this on the big screen with those amazing effects and everything really just knocked our socks off. It was just something else, and we kept going back to see it whenever we could. And I believe I kept track, and I think that one summer we saw it 10 times in the movie theater.
I think I only saw it 7. Sorry.
Yeah, it's incredible, and we just kept going back to it. And I remember going on vacation late in the summertime. We'd take a road trip, 1,000 miles away, and we'd be in some place, and it was playing there, so we went again. It's just like, okay, Star Wars is playing. Let's go see it again.
And your parents wanted some time.
They
alone.
wanted to get rid of us, so that was the big thing. But I
was
remember
a
seeing it
babysitter.
in while on vacation, even, which seems kind of funny. But we saw that. I had the toys just like all you guys did. I have also have memories of my dog eating them,
Oh, jeez.
which I probably have to replicate with my incoming dog
Yeah. Get her some
because I'm sure
Star
there's.
Wars chew
I'm
toys.
sure it's universally appealing to dogs to Star Wars action figures. It's fun to chew up. It's just
Get her
amazing.
the Cara Dune character to chew on. I think it's
Yeah.
just getting chewed on.
And of course, I have none of that stuff anymore. It's long gone. Like most people, I guess that's one reason they're valuable. But
They do have different kinds of chew toys now for, I think, some of the Star Wars versions.
if they don't, they really should. And yeah, so the stuff around the movies is pretty nostalgic, of course, like all of us. And the I've not seen any of the cartoon shows, or yeah, I've obviously only seen the theatrical movies, which I
Animated.
mostly like to varying degrees. The prequels, like everybody else, it was more disappointment than anything. Just that he felt like they really should have been better, but I certainly was entertained by them, and like Paul said, that they definitely have their good elements to them. And it's one of these things I should probably go back and revisit them someday. I'm a little bit curious to see what I get out of them now. Even going in, having my expectations not be so high, but so that's kind of how I approach it. And I have overall been pretty skeptical of things like The Mandalorian being made into a show because, okay, Disney's gonna just milk this as much as they can.
How do you
just
do
do
a whole
all
two
these
series
things.
on that?
Even just one, it just and plus, and this we should have qualified this, but I never thought that the character of Boba Fett was all that interesting. I know some people did, but
No.
when I first heard about this, my first reaction was, why why a show about? I know it's not about Boba Fett really, but a character like that
You're going to make one, it
with the
sounds
goofy
like.
helmet and all
Well,
that stuff.
I think the idea was the reason why people loved Boba Fett was because of how Boba Fett looked, rather than
Oh,
what
I know.
he did.
No,
So
he had a cool thing, and he had the rocket
yeah,
pack and all that stuff, and I just thought, okay, yeah, that
Oh,
was
he
like
was
a one
cool.
trick pony, though. I mean, why how would you have an entire show?
right. Well, I think they based it off of that look.
Oh yeah, it's amazing what you could build from that pretty flimsy, uh, kind of gimmicky foundation there. But yeah, so that's where I come. I think we all are in similar boats and levels of maybe not all similar levels of skepticism, but that kind of thing.
Well,
So
no, getting
I
into it, I was like, I don't know. I never finished Clone Wars, but I want to someday. And
Okay.
I don't think the Star Wars animated whatever fans will appreciate us referring to them as cartoons.
I knew somebody would nitpick that. That's
Yeah,
animated.
What do they do? Animated series?
And because of the Mandalorian, it makes me kind of want to watch them because Dave Filoni, who's responsible for that stuff, has got such a big hand in all this in this show. Not only with his characters, but his stories and what. So it kind of makes me want to visit the animated stuff because of how good this has been.
I
Yeah,
probably got about halfway through when it first came out. I watched it with my oldest daughter, but we never finished it. I think she lost interest in it at some point, but
well, it's not Japanese.
that's true.
All animated stuff's better if it's Japanese.
Big in Japan.
And speaking of that showrunner there, Paul, I think one of the things that's so obvious about this show is that the people behind it have kind of a similar sensibility about the Star Wars movies as we probably do.
Yeah,
Like,
Absolutely.
especially John Favreau, who
They're our
created
age.
the show and
Right.
wrote and directed a lot of it, and it's really in the kind of the look and all the little the universe it takes place in is so reminiscent of the original film.
It is.
It has that
It's
dirty, beat up kind of look.
it's total fan service. You think back to the first episode when the Mandalorian makes his entrance into a cantina. So already you're reminiscent of the Mos Eisley cantina there,
Sure.
and then you've got familiar species like Quarren and Weakways in the cantina, and then you've got the Mandalorian making his entrance. I mean, they straight off the bat they're paying service to the fans straight off the bat.
That's right.
And
And of
then
course, it's mixed in with Western.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
Yeah.
that total
That's the
Western
biggest.
thing, and you cannot miss that with the music. The Marconi and stuff references, and
No,
the music is
very
almost a
overt.
character in itself. Now, I mean, at the ending credits, I'm not saying necessarily throughout each episode, but the ending credits are like,
I would disagree, Phil. I do think
What?
it's through each episode. I think it is through each episode. I think one of the reasons Star Wars itself is so successful is because of John Williams, and one of the reasons
Yeah.
this show is so successful is because of Ludwig Göransson, who did all the music in this. I think.
Oh
that
no,
it's
I'm
a
not saying.
huge part of it. But I think some of the music throughout the show, I just think it's great.
Oh no, I love it
I
all.
like that he
love it
isn't
all.
trying to mimic Williams' scores. though,
No,
too.
no.
No,
And
He isn't trying to mimic Marconi necessarily either, but I'm just saying there's definitely a nod to that. And I've heard some of his other soundtracks, and they're totally different than this. But whatever.
yeah, I think he did like Black Panther and
Yeah.
well, he did Tenet as well. That the new what's the guy? Inception director.
Oh yeah,
Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Nolan, yeah, and he did the music for Nolan's latest one, Tenet, which is pretty
Interesting.
cool as well.
So it isn't just Disney.
And during the when the show's running or whatever, it's more subtle or whatever. But the ending, I was just trying to say that the ending credits are where it really stands out and becomes a
Right.
character on its own. No, I'm not. I don't disagree with you.
No, and by not trying to mimic the ones from the movies, it doesn't, because they're so grand and kind of classical film score style, which really works for that heroic, the Luke Skywalker saga and all that, and it's big strokes, if you will, with the music, and
Right.
it wouldn't work in this show because it's such a small scale
Right.
character and small set pieces, and one thing I did like about it is that it's a little more episodic, so that it's not just like everything is part of some. There is an overall plot, but
Yep.
the pacing is not set up that way, which is today with TV the way it is. It's kind of refreshing,
Absolutely.
and it makes it easier to watch when they don't release it all at once either.
What were some standout scenes that people liked the most? I know I'm trying to. It may have been a while since some of us have watched it, but
Let's get Matt back in. I haven't heard from him lately.
I was going to say, Matt, what's your favorite scene or scenes? Standout scenes.
When you say favorite scene, the first one that I went to was the end of the first episode when we met Baby Yoda and Mando shot the IG droid, which was played by Taika Waititi.
Which I didn't
That's
know
right,
at first. I
yes.
had to look that up, but yeah,
Um,
hilarious.
But that whole thing was just magical. That one hooked me for probably at least 3 seasons after just watching that one scene.
I think anything with white TV gets you. he's
I have-
kind of a sure thing.
No, the IG-11 whatever scene or whatever definitely was a standout for me as well.
Definitely. The let's see, what is another good thing? So
Well,
let's get to Baby Yoda then, since he's
I was going to say, Paul, did you have a favorite scene or
yeah, if you have one.
What?
maybe not?
Well, I guess if I look over the two scenes, the 2 seasons, there's a lot, and Matt's completely right. You're so hooked with that shot with Baby Yoda at the end of that first episode. I mean, you're totally into the show. But looking over it, I think the one that I remember being most pleased with was when Boba Fett does show up and he's got his armor back on, and
That's
he
right.
joins in with Mando, and they take on the stormtroopers together.
Yeah.
And, yeah, the inner child in me was jumping up and down.
That's so right, and there's so many scenes like that where they again the fan service, like you say, that they know exactly, like you can just see them when they wrote it and laid out the show that, oh, I've always thought it'd be cool to do this or have this character or this kind of alien in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost like they have their action figure and they're out in the sand pile playing with it.
Yeah.
Well, right? That's probably where it came from. What if Boba Fett did this? I guess there's going to be a Boba Fett series. I don't know.
Well, of course, doesn't it have to be now?
Well, yeah, they announced it at the end of the season.
I know.
Boba Fett, yeah.
I guess they have to. The Fennec Shand character, his partner or whatever you would say, was I felt was a little underdeveloped. So hopefully they'll develop that a little more in the Boba Fett series.
Oh, they have to. I mean, she's too good of an actress for them not to do that.
No kidding. I thought they could have done more with her.
So she was she was a voice in Mulan. She was in one of the Marvel series, and she's in Star Wars. So she basically has the Star Wars or the Disney thing covered.
Oh shoot, what's her name?
Na Wen.
Fennec. No. What?
Ming Na.
Ming-Na Wen. Right.
Yep.
Thank you. Right. Matt gets 10 points. Oh, this isn't the quiz show.
Oh, but there could be.
Oh, I would just kill for that. That's my favorite part of the show.
Well, sorry.
Oh, if only
I don't think Andy will be showing up anytime here. But what were some other? I'm jumping around here, unfortunately, and I apologize. But there were some other. We'll get back into our favorite things, but there were some other kind of underdeveloped characters, I think, that I would have liked to see develop more, I guess. And what were some other? Did anybody have some characters that they were felt wanting
I
more
think we'll
with?
probably get into him, but Bill Burr's character, what he's been doing,
Migs
and
Mayfield.
that whole speech that he had at the place where I don't remember where they were at, but he was dressed up as a trooper.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Okay.
That was a standout scene too. So yeah, there's more there. We only got a little glimpse of him. Yeah, so I definitely that could, and it was fun to see Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr has really been showing his acting chops. I don't know if anyone else has seen King of Staten Island.
No.
I look forward to
good?
it. I love Pete Davidson.
Yeah, Bill Burr is really good in that as well. It's really good.
I'm not surprised. People always get surprised when comedians are, oh wow, they can act, but I'm not. I can't act, and I'm not a comedian, but that's fine. What I'm trying to think of another character. Let's see. Well, Amy Sedaris' character, Pelimotto or something. I wish they could have done more with that. Now, maybe people thought that was their favorite character. I don't know, but
I'm not a big fan anyway, and to me, she's kind of a throwaway character at this point, just taking care of Baby Yoda when Mando wants to go to do something that doesn't require him to be a father. So I'm not big.
No, she's I guess what I'm saying is what am I trying to say? She's
You mean the actor is not being utilized?
No, she wasn't used to her full potential by any means. A babysitter.
Well,
as-
yeah, and
as Matt
I
said.
could have, I was so floored by seeing Werner Herzog acting in something that I would have
No.
liked more of him because he's
No,
great.
no, that gets into your favorite characters, in my opinion.
No, yeah, and ones that I could have used even more
Werner
time with.
Herzog.
Because he can say, it's like they used to say, he could read the phone book. What's a phone book?
Now, maybe people don't. Maybe the other two don't agree with us, but I'm just. Oh wow, it's Werner Herzog. I was waiting on his every breath.
I thought the inclusion of Werner Herzog in the trailers before that thing came out just made you want to watch it even more. I mean, the way that guy talks and the way he makes everything sound like you say, he can read the phone book and it's interesting.
Yeah, he's the classic heavy. Yep.
He was just perfect in that role. He was just perfect.
Oh, but again, I suppose it wasn't as developed as it could have been. But you can just
Well,
read into the
you know,
rest
I
and make
say
up
that just
yourself.
thinking it's really cool, but you know, maybe a little goes a long way.
Yeah, I don't think you need him on the screen the whole time. You can't. I don't think your brain could cope with 30 minutes of
Maybe
Werner
just put
Herzog.
some outtakes in, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of favorite things, I think one of the things that just really I get such a kick out of is that little scene. I think it's on Mando's ship with Baby Yoda, and he's sitting there chowing down on the little
All the
eggs,
frogs.
the little frog eggs. When nobody's looking. He's such a little fucker, and for me that was a great character thing because it's like, oh, he's eating these eggs.
And the species is dying.
Yeah, exactly. They
He
set it
doesn't
up
know.
for like, oh, he has to transport the eggs and species,
And he
blah blah
liked
blah.
the little.
And then he's just like, those look good, plop
He,
plop.
he liked to play with the gear shifter or whatever it was too.
Yeah, it's just the right amount of cute and funny.
What are they going to do with his ship in the third season? I mean, it was like destroyed 5 times for crying out loud. I mean,
It's like
they
the
can't.
Bluesmobile.
Oh,
No, it's an ex ship at this point. They were flying around in Slave One at the end.
That's right. It is actually gone.
no, but the
And maybe
Boba
that's
Fett,
going to
he's
be
got
the
to
case.
take
If
that.
Boba's taken over at Jabba's palace, then he doesn't need a ship. So if Mando takes
Oh,
Slave
maybe.
One, then I'm sorry, it's not Slave One anymore. It's
Slave 2.
Boba's starship. The toy is actually called Boba's starship and not Slave One.
Oh, has it changed?
Just in the toys, I think. In the
Oh.
stories, it'll still say Slave One, but they can't put Slave One on a toy.
Okay, so
Ah,
Boba got canceled.
Cancelled.
There's my title.
well, the Cara Dune character, that Gina Carano or whatever, she said something.
Dune.
She got herself cancelled. She's like teaming up
know.
with Ben Shapiro at this point.
Oh, Jesus. He wants to be heavy.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
No.
He would have a ship called Slave One.
Wahoo!
That's not a class action suit.
I can't even say anything. Okay. Edit this. Yeah, but I don't know what she did. She said something.
The
Well,
narrator
anyway, so,
can look it up and tell us.
no,
The first thing she said
it was anti-LGBT stuff.
yeah, she was the first thing she did when people started putting he, his, and hers and she on hers. She put on her beep and boop, and people had a fit with that. And then that's what started her off, I think, because
She was a robot.
She went off after that,
The gender wars.
pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. All the things we need to lay our sword down on, or whatever the phrase is. Well,
Pick your
she wasn't.
battles, right?
She wasn't my favorite character, but she kind of, at first, to be honest, I thought she was the character from Law and Order SUV, that actress, Mariska
Do you watch a lot of that show, Phil?
No, but I had a thing for her for a while, and I don't mean that in a
Oh,
stalker
okay.
way.
No,
No,
Jane
she's
Manfield's daughter.
yeah.
No
she's,
kidding.
She's
I did not know that.
she's a fine lady, but I thought, well, maybe I didn't really think it was her, but that's fine.
The Hutt says that he thought it was her. He's a big fan of Law and Order SUV. Oh, breaks over.
Well, considering I named my last dog Lando.
Oh, that's true.
Wow, now
And it was a black lab, which probably
Yeah,
could
that's
get you
actually in
canceled too.
retrospect kind of terrible. No, that would have been canceled.
We're gonna have to edit half
You
of
know
this
what?
out, John.
I'm not going to fucking edit that part out.
Fucking edit this, fucking.
It was many
fucking-
years ago, and I maintain that Lando is a good dog name.
You didn't name Lando. No, I'm not going to get into why you named it that. That's fine.
I don't know. Honestly, I probably unconscious bias, but I remember just
Lando's a great
like,
name.
going through random pop culture names, and that one came up. It's like, that sounds like a great dog name. Let's do it.
And the dog
So-
was wearing a cape, so
Yeah, he had a
was-
leather cape.
the dog had such great taste in capes. He had to call.
No,
the
he
dog
was a
Mando.
smooth. He was a ladies' man. He lived up to his
Oh,
name.
hi, Han. You're not seeing Leia right now, are you? Here I come. No,
And
what,
I used to warn him that pray, the bargain has been altered. Pray I don't alter it further or something.
what were people's
He didn't
feelings on Moff Gideon? Yeah, he was heavy. Could he have been a little heavier, or would have that been too much? Was he too subtle? I'm being the Rob K character here today.
No, that's a good point because
Devil's advocate.
Yeah, I think if someone was underused, then maybe he was.
If
Actually-
only because he is so great in
Right.
Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Well,
know. We know because of those shows what that guy is capable of, and
Even though I haven't seen those shows yet, sorry, but I knew this guy. I'm supposed to know who this is, so I looked it up. But because I was like, I know I'm supposed to know who this is because he was put there, he was cast for this, and I thought he could have been a little heavier. But the thing is, would that have been too over the top?
This is a kids show, right?
true,
I mean, we're
That's true,
watching
yeah.
it, but isn't it a kids show? We don't want him to be too heavy.
true, yeah.
Was it a kids show?
Star Wars.
Well,
is a
it's
kids show.
definitely a PG like show, I think.
Well, yeah. Oh no, it's more of a kids show than most of the things the kids watch. But yeah,
That's true. I mean, how
that's a good point.
bad do they have to be? And he tends to underplay things, and I think we're so used to the evil character as being
In
over
Star
the
Wars.
top. Yeah, except Darth Maul, he was very subtle. But otherwise, they're over the top. He made up for it with his pointy, two-sided lightsaber.
Well, I'm a bit on the fence with him, but I enjoyed it, and I get it. As
I kind of wonder if maybe I appreciated him more because I just internalize his other shows when he plays those characters, and I just maybe I'm putting more in there than is actually part.
The show is better for it because of his presence, and
Right.
but because he's so good, you just want to see more of him, and you want him to do more, and
you want him to step on somebody's head
maybe
or something,
blow someone up.
or or do a chokehold thing. I don't know. No,
or
but
make some chicken. No,
oh God, what are you talking about?
sorry.
No,
Breaking
now
Bad.
you're gonna
reference.
edit
No,
this out now, too.
Pollos Hermanos.
Yeah, Manos Hermanos from Breaking Bad. He runs a chicken.
Oh,
fried
I'm
chicken
sorry. Okay, edit my part out.
Everybody else will get it, Phil.
No,
I haven't watched Breaking Bad.
me either.
Okay, fine.
Matt, you and I will do our pilot
We'll cut this
episode
part
of
out
that
then,
one.
too.
I think one of the standout scenes though was Moff Gideon at that building standoff. And I don't know what episode it was or whatever. That was pretty cool. When he said, "Well, we're gonna, you're not coming out, so we're gonna bring in this really big gun now, or whatever." I don't know. I'm totally not quoting it right, but
That actually reminds me of another great scene we should mention is Jason Sudeikis as one of the two stormtroopers that have Baby Yoda on their speeder bikes, and they're talking about how crazy
about
Moff
that.
Gideon is, and they're
yeah,
punching,
that was funny.
and they're punching Baby Yoda, and they've got the whole joke about when they're trying to shoot at stuff and missing, and
right.
really awesome.
No.
And I think that was a Taika Waititi directed episode as well.
Oh,
Oh,
I
of
have
course.
no doubt.
You guys know he has a new show out.
Show.
New one?
Taika does? Yeah.
He's doing
That
Leonard
he's involved with.
Letterkenny
I don't
3.
know.
What?
Letterkenny. He's not Canadian, Phil.
No, he could still direct them.
No,
What's he doing?
it's called. Isn't it called The Reservation or something like that?
Oh, Reservation Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. You got it.
Yeah,
I just
Reservation
heard about this
Dogs.
show.
What is that about?
There's a couple of Native Americans I work with who have seen the first 2 episodes, and they think it's the funniest thing they've ever seen.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I
Yeah.
just heard about it the other day.
Yeah.
What? This guy
Yeah.
could do anything. He was Hitler in the movie.
Yeah, he's great.
I did the first time he kind of came into my awareness or whatever. Because there was different shows that he was in that I should have seen that I
He's the
didn't.
Kiwi Hitler.
He directed Thor Ragnarok, and that was so funny.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Absolutely.
Who is this guy? And so I watched that bunny one. I don't know what that was called.
What We Do in
Where
the Shadows?
he was Hitler.
Oh, that one.
Oh, Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah,
Yeah, Phil, you should see What We Do in the Shadows.
I
movie, at
know.
least.
I know. That's on my ever-growing list of things I never watch.
Very, very funny.
You
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
need to move it closer to the top. Move Breaking Bad down a couple notches and move What We Do in the Shadows up.
No, I
One
think
is a
so.
little more of a commitment. But
I watched the first episode of Breaking Bad, and it was really heavy.
Yeah, well, that's why I won't watch it. I need to escape a little bit more. Not
No.
until like, hey, I could do meth.
But wait,
Escape into
Matt,
the shadows.
but you sat all the way through Game of Thrones, though, right?
Well, yeah, but at
That's pretty
the same
gruesome,
time, we
too.
started that from the beginning, or well, actually from like season 3, and so it's episodic, like Mandalorian, where you have to wait a week and you don't have to binge.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
So I don't like having that whole 9 seasons of shows, 120 shows, staring me down.
Well, maybe that we understand
Too
why
much,
we have
man.
not watched it yet. Then Game of
Somebody's
Thrones,
getting
that is.
nice.
Or is it a dog?
No, you know what? I had to feed Buffy. She was just killing me. She was
Those assholes.
Buffy and Birdie.
Buffy would not leave me alone, so Buffy had to
Yeah.
get fed. That's what that was. That was nice.
They have their schedule.
Another character that I looked up was like this Queel, or I don't know how it's pronounced, but I was like, because it said
Oh, Nick
was played
Nolte's
by Nick
character?
Nolte, and I
I
was
was
like,
going to ask him what you guys thought about him.
I was like, how was that Nick Nolte? I mean,
Computers can do anything, Phil.
it was amazing. I like that character. I think it may be one of my favorite characters. I guess I don't know. What was the other?
Yeah, what was his little manner of speaking thing that he had a little style of speaking that was different.
Oh,
He
he's-
used, to, he used to use the phrase, was it, I have spoken, I think,
That's
after
right.
he said stuff. And
Yeah, I
again,
like that. That's almost Star Trek like.
and that was, again, another great nod to old Star Wars fans, because he was an Ugnaught, and they expanded
Yeah.
on a character that was only seen very briefly in Empire, in Bespin. So,
Right,
that
so
was
they're-
and just very clever fan service. They get someone that they take a species that the fan base is aware of and make a character out of that species, and
Yeah.
it's appreciated.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite characters was Greedo, and they didn't do that yet. So maybe in season 3.
Phil Greedo has his own series now. No, I'm just kidding.
And,
It's a
and
prequel.
Greedo's species is Rhodian. Greedo was his name.
Right.
No, yeah, Greedo
What is the
origin
species
story.
What is the species called that Baby Yoda is?
There is no name.
Oh my God!
We barely
See, I
know his
didn't-
name.
Yeah, Grogu.
What?
We just learned his name. We don't know anything about his species.
And
Is
then
it established that their species is from Dagobah, or is that just where Yoda was living?
That's where Yoda
he was hiding out.
he was hiding out there. There was a dead Jedi in that tree that Luke went into that protected him from Palpatine to find him.
Okay,
Uh,
so he was just laying low there. It just like Kenobi on Tatooine. Then it wasn't. His
He was
home
hiding.
world.
He was
Okay.
on the down low.
I
I don't
lifted some
know.
rocks. I stood on my head.
So we don't know, but then so actually when I first started watching Mandalorian, I thought it happened after the sequels. So I was a little confused because actually when does it happen? It happens
After
between.
Jedi, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
like 5 years after Jedi, 2 years after Jedi.
I
Yep.
figured it out after a while because I was like, no, that this
50
is
years after the prequel, right? So Grogu was just really, I dare say, a youngling at that point. Um, and so he's 50 now. So that's about the same age as what Vader would be at this point, or would have been.
so when CGI Luke Skywalker shows up, spoiler alert, and kicks some ass, and he takes the baby Yoda. I was like, what's this? What? I forgot the name.
Mark
Ba-
Hamill?
no, baby
No.
Yoda has a
Oh,
name.
yeah.
I know Mark
Grogu.
Hamill.
Grogu.
Thank you. Anyway,
Gesundheit.
that's easier for you to say. But he takes him somewhere, and I'm like, okay, now what happens? I was like, because
Gotta
Luke
keep watching.
Skywalker's because if you watch the sequels, Luke is like, I'm not gonna deal with these Jedi
Well, I think
trainers and
the
stuff. And
question is that does he go to Luke's academy and is he part of the whole failure of the Jedi training thing that was
oh,
established in the
geez.
next?
You don't see
That's
him
a
in the
question.
sequels, so something bad must have happened, right? So
Yeah,
I don't
or
want
he
to.
bailed or
I don't
was
want to
plucked
read
out.
into anything, but
Oh,
No, there's a
Kylo
lot of
made it.
questions there.
Maybe
so
Kylo
so
killed him.
baby Yoda could become a heavy in the next series. No, I don't know.
He'd eat a whole jar of human heads instead of those little eggs.
He's gonna eat human heads.
Well, yeah,
That's
he's got to
terrible.
become evil, right? If
Oh,
he's
yeah, eggs is one thing.
well, they're still little baby fish people, though, aren't they? I don't know.
Oh, I like that Timothy Oliphant.
Oh yeah,
Cobb
the
Vanth.
standalone episode
Yeah, the
Mhm.
Marshal of Moss
where they fought
Pedro.
the Dune worm.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, kind of good call out to kind of old style stuff.
Do you know in
Yeah.
that episode as well, there was a tip of the hat to Deadwood?
Oh, of course there
Well, he
was.
was in Deadwood. I know
Well,
Yeah.
that,
well, but
which I haven't seen. But what
so
is this?
the weak way bartender in the episode is W. Earl Brown, who played Dan from the saloon number 10 in Deadwood. He was
No
the
way.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
I did
that's
not catch
cool.
that.
yeah,
That's
he was
cool.
he was the guy that
Cool.
used to work for Al Swearingen and do all his hits and stuff in the
Oh
Deadwood
my
show.
god.
Yeah, so the weak way was W. Earl Brown in that show.
Al
Deadwood's
Swearingen, who is the best, my favorite character in the show, obviously. I mean, it's
Deadwood is
hard.
still on my list of shows that I should watch that haven't seen.
Phil, how can
Yeah.
you have watched every Phantasm and not seen Deadwood?
This is the question.
Oh, I have no defense. My grandma D, she watched Deadwood and she said I liked it a lot, but it has a lot of swearing. So I don't know. So
No,
I said I'm not going to
it's
watch
very
that.
HBO, but
I don't like swearing. I'm kidding.
but it has what plays Al Swearingen? The guy's name. He's in a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
No.
Big mustache.
Ian
No, they all have
McShane.
mustache. Yeah, Ian McShane. Yeah, he is so good.
Yeah.
And it just, I love the, not to turn this into a Deadwood thing, but the language they all use, like the way they talk is just
Now,
wild.
but wait. This is kind of a western, really. Mandalorian.
Yeah, except it's more of a like old style Western.
Yeah, episodic.
Deadwood is not really, I mean, it looks like an old Western, but it's
I'm not
its writing
comparing.
and everything are much different.
I'm not comparing Mandalorian to Deadwood because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But it is
You just want to
definitely
be sure.
It's definitely heavy on the western influence. It's not Clint Eastwood or whatever. The character's a little more sympathetic or something, I guess. When he'll take his mask
Well,
off every
and
now and
speaking
then.
of the Mandalorian character is it's interesting to. He has some interesting background. Obviously, they do some flashbacks and they get into his things with the, the group of. I'm forgetting the names of what his people are called, but
The
wear the armor
Mandalorians.
and do all the weapon building and all that stuff. But he also has this interesting hatred of droids, which
Yeah.
plays in, and I think it's done pretty well.
Well, then that
I mean,
plays
a
into
lot of people kind of diss droids throughout the Star Wars world. They're second class citizens.
Yeah.
Ever since Han Solo said, or that walks in and or that scene where the bartender said, "We don't serve their kind here."
Yeah.
And all it started with that, and like droids are these like the minorities or something.
But there's a really good scene in the episode on Trask where Mando he meets up with the other Mandalorians, and they refer to his particular set of Mandalorians as like religious zealots and
Yeah.
their
Right.
old beliefs, like they're like the fundamentalist
Yeah.
Mandalorians.
Oh, you
whereas-
still don't take your mask off?
Yeah, you're
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
They
I'm
put it
taking my
out pretty
pants
well.
off.
So they're like, "What do you mean you don't? You've still got 6 wives?
Yeah. Right. What?
You don't have 6 wives and think you need
Come
more?"
on. Live a little.
No. 5 is plenty.
Right. So
Can you imagine?
so there was. I thought that was a pretty interesting story point that he was part of an old religious set rather than what Mandalorians are actually like.
Well, that gets into the other thing where Moff Gideon is like at kind of towards the end of the series, and what was the thing that they had? It was a special lightsaber or a sword or
darksaber.
something. That thank you, Matt. But he's like, yeah, you two have to fight now to get this, to have the leadership of this glass planet. Which I'm like, the planet is glass. There's a lot that can be explored still, for sure.
Is it really called the Glass Planet? I forgot that.
I didn't catch that part either. But back to Mandalorian.
Let's forget about it.
Go back to the Mandalorian. Wasn't he adopted by the clan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. We're not going to let that doggy win. Come on, Zonda. Get him.
Which one of yours was that, Matt?
That wasn't mine.
Oh,
No,
I was
that's
going to blame
Buff-
Zeus.
That was Buffy again.
That was Buffy.
Oh,
The Vampire Slayer.
nobody ever suspects the golden retriever, but
No, the golden retriever's upset about a couple of birds that just landed in her yard for some reason. So she's going to go figure that out.
okay. Well, I'll expect a report.
Oh, John had a race car go by.
Yeah, no, there's all sorts of shit here.
Eh,
I don't know.
I lost my train of thought.
So I think it's
What
safe
were we
to say
talking
we'll all,
about just before? Matt and I had a disagreement or something.
Jin was adopted.
So you call it adopted, yeah? But what was the word? What was the phrase they used?
Foundling.
A foundling. Thank you.
Mhm.
God damn it. Thanks, Matt. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you. Thanks
What was
for-
so, Paul? You recently went to the before you got your yeast infection at the at Disney
at
World.
Disney.
Because Paul had I don't know that I guess you can evidently have sex with the Wookiee there on one of the rides.
You have
But,
to pay
um,
extra.
A little bit.
It's an add-on.
It's like a tip or something.
You have to save up your points, right?
Yeah.
No, you have to have a special bracelet or something. But anyway, Paul's feeling a little bit better now. He's had a couple shots, but not tequila. But I'm totally
that
lost
come
my train
from?
of thought now. I'm way over here now. Where was I?
Was you gonna ask me, Phil, about visiting Star Wars Galaxy's Edge? Was that
You
what
know,
you
that's
was
a good
trying to
segue
do?
because we can talk
Yes.
about that.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Now,
Yes,
now
Matt.
is the
Before
is the
you got
hotel
space
opening up?
herpes. Paul got like muff Tarkin disease or
Muff.
something.
You can never get rid of that space herpes, you know.
They're much
You have
worse
to
than
put-
normal ones because they have the word space in them. Paul, did you go to Galaxy's Edge?
I think we talked about that when he was on last, didn't we?
Well, he was there recently, though.
Okay,
Since-
how was your second experience at
Well,
getting space herpes?
It was this time. This visit was better because the main attract because we went to a special preview last time before it opened up.
Oh, right.
So this was way better because we got to go to Ogre's Cantina this time, which is it's a replica Star Wars cantina with all themed drinks, which was amazing. And also the main attraction was that now open, which is Rise of the Resistance, which was this amazing kind of 15-minute experience. I mean, it's not a ride. I mean, there's ride portions to it, but it was so much more than that.
I had an amazing 15-minute experience once.
You did? With
Yeah.
a droid? Or a
No,
Wookiee?
it wasn't the droid you were looking for.
Yeah, you call them
Sorry.
droids. That's a six-bot.
Sorry, go on. I saw your pictures of the drinks. They were crazy.
Yeah, I mean the drinks menu was really fun. There was like a fuzzy tauntaun, which was like a play on a fuzzy navel. There's Bespin Fizz, which all these real fun drinks. The Outer Rim, which was like a margarita based drink with this spicy rim on it, and they had all these specifically
Spicy Rim. There's our title.
There you go.
Thank you, Paul.
And I
Spicy
can't believe
rim.
my wife doesn't want to go to this place. Come on.
And then
Because she likes spicy rims.
and they've got all these exclusively brewed beers that top breweries have done for them, like Gamorrean Ale and Bad Motivator
God.
IPA, and so they've got
Bad
these names.
Motivator. I like
What
that.
else was there? They had a Gamorrean Ale, Bad Motivator IPA. There was so many fun drinks. Really, really good experience. The whole thing had got bigger and better. We ate and drank there. We got to do the rides, and we had a really, really fun time. And I would say that is a must do for big Star Wars fans. At some point,
Matt.
you've got to get there.
Matt, are you going there soon?
I'd love to get there. Yeah.
Matt,
I've
you're
been
going
there.
to. You've been there?
So after we came back from New Zealand 2020, this was January 2020. Galaxy's Edge was really just open. Rise of the Resistance wasn't even open yet, so all we got to do was Smuggler's Run. But yeah, we stopped and stayed an extra day in Los Angeles just to go.
Did you get to do Ogre's Cantina, Matt?
No, we didn't. So we didn't know what our timing was going to be like, and we found out that you got to book that about 2 months in advance. So
Yeah.
we hung around outside for a bit just to look in, but that's as far as we got.
Yeah, it's you're exactly right. I had to. It was about 2 months out. I had to get the reservations for that. So yeah,
Paul had smugglers runs.
I did. That was all. That was all part of that space infection or whatever.
No, that's just a byproduct of space herpes.
Basically,
Space herpes. Yeah.
as near as I can tell, all of Paul's extremities sort of fell out, and he had to have them put in a bag and put back in surgically. As near as I can tell, what happened to Paul. So I'm not going to Disney World anytime soon, and smugglers runs, but.
These are good.
Of course they're good. They're galactic sugar crunchies.
Darth Vader, what are you doing here?
I'm here to make sure you get a balanced, nutritious meal with 9 essential vitamins and isotopes.
I see pulps.
Don't get smart. Now eat.
Yes, my lord.
Hey kids, if you want to be strong with the Force like me, go out and bug your parents until they buy you some galactic sugar crunchies. Tell them Darth Vader sent you.
You got some milk?
Leave that to me.
someday I will get there the next time because my family goes there every week or something. Some member of my family goes.
They have to hire. Oh,
We'll get there sooner or later.
My daughter Adeline is a good dog watcher. If you need a dog sitter,
Hey, that don't laugh. That might happen.
she's kind of expensive. That's fine. So yeah, I don't know. I just keep thinking of space herpes, so that we can't keep talking about that. Are we done?
Anything else anybody wants to point out about the Mandalorian?
We'll clean this up.
He says wrong.
The end. I have to say the end credits are probably the best end credits of any show that I've seen. I don't know how long.
Yeah.
I love the end credits.
Yeah, they're awesome, aren't they, Phil? I totally agree. They're so awesome. They're so
I
good.
don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, the music and the,
the
highlighting
drawings
certain
and stuff?
scenes. Yeah. Oh my God, I love the end scenes. Fine.
It's a great way to get you to watch them. Considering
Yeah.
that most shows it's over in 2 seconds, and then you hit the button. To the next episode.
No, they even like put the end credits like on a different screen, kind of a sub screen in the the corner while the next show is loading.
They make you work for it.
They make you work for it.
That's right.
Fine.
Don't mind Phil. He had to go to the dentist today.
Oh, the dentist. We're gonna talk about the dentist. Did they have dentists?
That'll be our topic next time.
Did they have dentists at on Tatooine?
Well, if you have the Mandalorian helmet, you don't need to go to the dentist.
No, that's not true. They still have teeth issues. It doesn't protect what's inside from decaying. That Mandalorian armor is pretty cool, though. No, I was trying to say the planet was made into glass. They said that. The Mandalorian planet. What happened?
Wait! I thought that was somebody else's planet.
No.
What happened to it?
The glass. We're back to the glass planet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
This is odd. Okay, no,
You're making this up.
No, the Mandalorian
that part
planet
of
was turned to
Phantasm?
glass. No, it was turned to glass.
I'm almost sure that was part of Phantasm 4.
Oh, it's a giant glass ball.
It's got some spikes coming out of it. Oh, everyone
be
needs to rewatch it.
Season
We'll,
3.
we'll figure that out in season 3, which evidently, I'm guessing, they're already working on and doing because I had read at some point that Cara Dune character was written out of it. So
Yeah, she's gone. I think we'll see Book of Boba Fett before season 3, and we may even see the Ahsoka Atana show before that as well.
Oh shit, they're going to do a whole show about her?
Yep.
Now, see, from watching the Clone Wars, it was fun to see her show up again.
Yeah, I'm getting Rosario. I thought Rosario Dawson was a great person to do that role.
Yeah.
You know, from what I'd read and the artwork I'd seen, and because I didn't watch the show, but I'm excited to see that. I think that could be really good.
I think I need to finish Clone Wars someday.
I think Ashoka, they better do something with her character that redeems herself, because I find her to be the enemy of the Jedi right now, and I don't really like her.
Oh no,
No, that's not cool.
Matt's a purist.
Well, if you can't root for the Jedi, who can you root for?
Well, yeah, well they're not great people. Okay, I get it. They kidnap kids and hold them against.
No, the foundlings or
Oh,
something.
now
No,
you're
that's
revisionist
the
history here.
But I just she was such a whiner on the at least the early parts of Clone Wars. So they better do something to make her feel better. I mean, it looked like she had gained some wisdom in the episode that we saw her in.
Right.
So maybe
Sure,
there'll be something
sure.
there.
Oh, there's been quite a few years from the episodes I had seen.
I'm not the same person I was 30 years ago, so maybe she's not.
And and yet Werner Herzog is the same person he was 13 years ago.
And in
Well,
everything he's ever in, but it's still
yeah, he's
always
preserved.
cool.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
It's Werner Herzog as Werner Herzog.
Well, yeah, he does play himself.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, why
No,
not?
there's nothing wrong with that. Muff Herzog.
Muff
Well,
Herzog.
I don't know. Anything else you got, John?
No, I need to watch it again because I've forgotten half of it apparently. So I'll have to watch it again before the next season comes out.
When is so they're going to do Boba Fett before the third season of Mandalorian?
Well,
Boba
I'm
Fett's
not
supposed to come out in December.
yeah.
Holy shit.
I feel like we're in a Star Wars pause right now.
We need it.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining. they for a
Good
while
point.
it was so crazy fast.
They were coming such rapid fire with the movies that's why Solo got such a bad rap, because it just came so
Yeah.
rapid fire, and they wanted to get it out, and so they fired whoever was directing it and hired Ron Howard. And then
Oh,
they tried
that's
to
right.
redo it,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they originally had the brothers that did the Lego movies as the directors.
Oh, yeah, Chris Lord and
Yes.
yeah.
But I didn't think that was horrible. I didn't think Solo was
No,
horrible.
it's not horrible at all.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking. I want to watch it.
It's
Does it have
good.
Baby Lando?
And the worst thing I can say about Solo is that it's the kind of thing that nobody really asked for.
Yeah.
Like Han Solo is such a fully baked character
Right.
as it is that an origin story doesn't add that much to it, even though it's entertaining and well done.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah.
agree.
I haven't seen
It's
it
fine.
yet.
It's
but-
like now we know how he did the Kessel Run.
But,
Oh, thank
Like
goodness.
these little bits and pieces, like that's kind of fun, but
We
it
don't
was
need to
just
see
added
that. That's
much.
just part. That's just part of the lore.
and that's how I feel about it. It was fun. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't great. I really loved Rogue One, though.
I think that one's a lot better. Yeah.
I loved Rogue One too. Don't get me wrong, but there was I really thought they should have done something with what was her name, Mon Mothma, when she was talking about many Bothans died to get us this.
Yeah.
So where were the Bothans in this whole?
Right. Right. You know what? That was what I thought when I originally saw the concept of what it was about. That's what I thought it was going to be about.
Well, yeah, and I thought maybe at the end they would call this squadron the Bothans, but
right.
they just never did.
Right.
Ooh.
That's
kind of a misstep there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But I did love it. I mean, I thought it looked great. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed a ton of the scenes. I had a lot of fun with that movie.
And no matter how you feel about the way the CG at the end of it worked, even if you didn't think it was very effective, it's still satisfying to have that tied up in a bow like that.
It provided a seamless transition to New Hope.
Yes,
it really made you fear Darth Vader a lot more.
Yeah,
that's true.
Crazy.
If I ever decide to have kids, I'm going to make them watch Rogue One before Episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? You're messing with kids' heads.
That's a good decision right there. That's a good decision.
Having kids?
No, that's
terrible decision. Terrible decision.
No.
Very expensive as well.
That's 68.
I'm going to name my kid Muff Tarkenton.
Wow.
Matt,
to the
just
Vikings.
adopt some more dogs. That's okay.
Nod to the Vikings and Star Wars. That so works.
Oh, I tell you.
Oh, there's so many things I want to talk to you both about, but we'll have to do that another time. Matt and Paul are both runners. I want to get into that.
That's right.
Christian E.
You can talk about shoes.
His wife Amy E. are runners too. I want to have a runners show. I want to understand this running thing. I don't run unless somebody's chasing me. though. That's well,
I did not win my last race, but I did not get last. I did
But
lose
you
the bet.
tried. Yeah.
maybe that's the point, right?
Yes, it is.
If you're last and somebody's ahead of you, I guess you got to take them out a little bit. Just kind of thwack them.
Oh no, you just pull up with a hamstring.
I'm not last. I'd be last. Somebody's got to be last.
We can count on you, Phil. It's okay.
So I'm last tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for being here on the Mandalorian.
Yeah, this was really fun.
I don't know what to call it.
We worked hard to get here.
No, because Paul had space herpes. But I'm trying to. Don't have sex with a Wookiee, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm trying to figure out what we're going to call
Even if
this.
it is Life Day.
Episode 66 is going to be Mandalorian Fest.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know. It's getting a little weird.
That's
We have a lot of people clamoring to be on episode 69 for some reason. I don't know. We might have.
I'm going to take a vacation.
I'm going to lead that one.
You can be solo.
I'll have my 6 wives show up on that one. All right.
I'll tell you
Thanks,
what. I'll take it off and guest host all of my sisters.
No, I'm not going
Can
to.
Sister. See, I worked it in somewhere.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well,
everyone.
thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate
Bye,
you.
guys.
Email us if you come up with a name for this.
Right if you get work.
Right if you
As my
get
dad
work.
would say.
Good night and
That's
God
right.
bless.
Okay.
Godspeed.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And here's a
Thank you.
song.
There's
Nice to be in orbit.
Space herpes. I had a little nookie with my favorite Wookiee. Her name was Chal Grazdu, and she showed me a thing or two. But we had a little tiff, more like a time-space riff. Her shots weren't up to date, and it turned out that my fate was to get a case of the dread disease known across all the parsecs as space herpes. Space herpes is more than a standard STDs. It's a virus mixed with glowing cooties, like a brainworm on your corpus callosum. Fungus grows upon your scrotum. Your zip falls off if you much just cough, and you'll get sores on your old grand moth. Space herpes. I hauled ass to a Haven class. It was clear I had to see it to 1B. It took one look at me, and it asked if it hurt when I pee.
Why does it hurt when I pee?
Hurts when I do anything, but yes, it does sting my diggling.
My dingling.
It gave me 4 shots and 7 pills. It stopped the chills till I got the bill. I'll never have sex with a Wookiee for my thrills. I'm heading back to the old Black Hills. Space herpes. It's more than a standard STDs. It's a virus mixed with glowing cooties, like a brainworm on your corpus callosum. Fungus grows upon your scrotum. Your soup falls off if you much as cough, and you'll get sores on your old grand moth. Space herpes.